This is a bit of a tricky shot to get, but what we need to do is just wind back in the caliper. Just gonna get off these little end caps. That's one. This top one here. These are H7s. Would help if I was going in the right direction, wouldn't it? Makes more sense. Do the same on the bottom. Sometimes the threads just get stuck in there a little bit. You just have to push them out or something. Yes, same on the bottom. And now we'll just pull these pins out, pull that pad out, and set that up there out of the way. Now, this one here's stuck. They get stuck, they get stuck. Okay, now I've got two 13s on the back. You can see one of them just here, there's another one just up here. Need to undo those next. They are quite tight, these, I must admit. Oh. Ooh. There we go. That's our bracket off. Little 10mm. These can be a little tricky. Find it best to sort of gently pry them forward. Don't worry too much about bending the backing plate, I mean obviously don't go ridiculous, but the disc does have to come off. Oh, here we go. Once we get it up over this lip, it gets a lot easier. That's the ticket. There we go. That's that. Our little brake shoes in there. You know what happens is these just sort of like move around and then they get caught on the rust lip on the inside of there. As long as you're gentle, the shoes aren't damaged or anything, and then you can just put the new disc over the top and they'll work fine. Obviously at this point, if this is what you're aiming to get to, then you're here. I'm not covering that in this video because the handbrake on this works fine. really want to remove too much material from the pad carrier because there's no shims. I don't want the brake pads to rattle in there. As you can see a tiny bit of rust, but we're back through to the it's basically quite heavily pitted. We're not going to buy another one, so this one here is okay to be reused. Might look unusual if you come from a country where there isn't much rust, but here it's totally normal. A bit of grease. It will collect some dirt, unfortunately, but it's better than not having any in there. They make an awful noise and they'll still get dirt stuck in them, except there won't be any grease to lubricate it. They'll seize up in no time, especially in the winter when we get the first salt and grit in on the road, and they'll really go bad. There we go. It's ready to go back into the car. Go. There we go. Do not tighten down that little bolt with an impact. That would be crazy. That's it, just snug it down, it's fine. As long as the disc is seated, it's only there to hold it in place. Once you put the wheel bolts in anyway, the wheel clamps the disc to the hub, so you don't need to go mental with that. These have got so much thread lock on them from last time that I didn't bother to put on any new. But that might be something that you would consider. There we go. Those get tightened down to a whopping 60 Newton meters. It's actually not very much. One thing I would say most of the time with jobs like these, bolts don't actually need to be as tight as you might think that they do. That's it. That's how tight that one there needs to be, and no more. Happy days. Gonna try and give this a bit of a clean in here. That back face is quite badly pitted. Just gonna try and flatten it off somewhat with the file. Won't be able to get it perfect. It's quite bad, but the caliper did rewind fine, which means everything inside is pretty much corrosion free. If it wasn't corrosion free, like if it was that bad, probably would have started leaking by now when you push it back in, because it pushes past the roll seal inside the cylinder here where the piston goes into. There's only one little seal probably around about here, and that's what stops the hydraulic fluid from escaping. So that's good. Put a little grease on here too. Put a little grease on the ears of the caliper here. Stop the pad from squealing, and then we'll do the same here. Give it a little bit of lubrication. It'll hopefully help things. Very nice. Now fitting pads. Try not to touch the pad material itself. Obviously you want to keep that friction material totally clean. Never touch that with your greasy hands. If you know that you're kind of messy, then just put on some gloves basically, or change your gloves. There we go. That's now in place. Now we need to do is pop back in these two here. They get down to 30 Newton meters. But before we do that, we'll just go around them and just try and clean off some of this old grease here that's dried on, and then we'll re-grease them and thread them in. So now we'll get our lovely and greased pin started. And now we can do the bottom one. What are you doing, Flynn? And then we'll get the bottom one started. And now we'll get them both torqued down. Just torque them down. That'll do. Want to be careful when you do these that you don't scrape off loads of mud from here and then it ends up inside your freshly greased slide pins. Be careful with that. Then we just pop the end caps back in like so. I think this is supposed to be on here like that, it looks like. I didn't remove that, not that I realised anyway, but pop that back, job done. Get this back in here. And we just want to peel that around the front like that. Make sure it's all in there. There we go. Very nicely done. So you have to make sure when fitting this clip that the front of the clip goes behind this ear on the caliper. It's very important that. And obviously just make sure that your brake disc is nice and clean, there's no grease on it. Check the back as well. Now we'll get all these tightened down to 140. There we go. And that's how you do the rear brakes on a Volvo V70 D5. Yeah, within 3 to 5 clicks is considered fine. 1, 2, 3, and that's tight now. Good. Happy days.